a truly first-class goal for Chelsea from England's Frank Lampard.
If you want to buy cheap Ultimate Team coins, go and check out MMOPO.com and use the discount code EGHD at the checkout to get yourself 8% off your order. With icon swaps free out now, we have 10 tokens and you can get a midfielder, Gullit, or you can get Lampard, but which one is best to spend your 10 tokens on? We're going to find out in this video. We've also done videos just like this with Litmanen, Trezeguet, and also Overmars versus Laudrup, so if you're thinking about going for those icons as well, you can check my previous videos out on my channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. So of course guys, let's start off with the squad that I used with Gullit and Lampard, and it's the same team that I used for the icon swaps free players before this video, and I've decided to also go for an engine chem style on both the players because they both suffer with fairly low agility and balance, especially Lampard. So I decided, you know what, let's both go for the same chem style. I'm going to be using them in a 4-2-3-1 formation. As you guys know, it's one of my favourite formations, and I think it's one of the most popular formations in FIFA 20, especially in the weekend league. And it'll be interesting to see how it fares out. They're both on stay back whilst attacking in 4-2-3-1. I'm using them in a 4-2-2-2 as well as a 4-4-2. Now in both of the other formations, the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-2-2, I'm using them on balance attack to see how their AI likes to get forwards. Now, so let's have a quick look at the stats, and the first thing I'm looking at is he's got a nice decent pace upgrade from his prime card to his prime moments. His shooting's obviously fantastic, his passing, his dribbling, but his dribbling has got a letdown as we already discussed with agility and balance, but we've boosted it up with the engine chem style. He's also got the power free kick trait, long passer, long shot taker, and team player traits. For Gullit, he has 6 ratings less at 86, but how does his stats fare out? You can see there he's green across the board apart from aggression, but the problem with this Gullit baby card is that he doesn't really excel massively in any of these areas. He doesn't have really like a 90 plus stat apart from composure. He does have the leadership trait, playmaker, and power header. Now whilst we're having a look at those in-game stats, I decided to take away that Gullit has quite average shooting, especially compared to his mid icon and also his prime icon. I've used his mid icon for at least 100 plus games in FIFA 20 and Foot Champion, so I know how he feels. He's got also very low stamina at 78, which is not very Gullit like. He does have the 5-star weak foot, which is great, but he doesn't have the 4-star skills which his other cards do have. So you can't do the standing scoop, you can't do the Berber spin, and they are skill moves that I really like to use in FIFA 20. Average agility and balance both under 80. I would say that 80 plus is a nice place to start with players feeling good on the ball. He does have 94 composure, and you do feel that he does feel composed at times when he's making passes or he's under certain situations. He also has pretty good passing with 89 vision, 85 short passing, and 87 long passing. Plus with the engine chem style, you're getting a boost on that passing too. Now with Frank Lampard, of course he starts off straight away with great shooting, especially compared to Gullit. He's got 93 finishing, 93 shot power, and 96 long shots. Long shots aren't especially like that needed too much for me. I feel like most of the time when I'm shooting, I'm inside the box or just on the edge. But he's also got high stamina, especially compared to Gullit. So if we're going for comparisons here, he blows him away. 4-star weak foot and 3-star skills. He's got low agility and low balance as well. 66 agility, 64 balance. So he will feel a lot more stiff than Gullit. He's got 90 plus composure for the composure and reactions, so not just composure, whereas Gullit is just 94 on composure and quite low reactions. He also has high passing, 85 vision, 95 short passing, and 94 long passing. So for the gameplay guys, it's going to be a little bit different for me because usually when I'm doing some kind of comparison or some kind of review on YouTube with, you know, FIFA players, it's using attacking players and you're kind of looking at their goals, looking at their assists. So it's quite hard to like really dissect my gameplay and really like figure out who was doing the right things and who wasn't. A lot of this will be just watching what they're doing. So you can see here Gullit makes a pass to Overmars and he follows that pass up, whereas you can see Lampard's all the way back there. This is in the 4-2-3-1 on stay back whilst attacking. So first thing I want to mention actually is their work rate, something we didn't speak about initially. Lampard has high attacking work rates and medium defensive. So he should have been more attacking than Gullit because Gullit has medium. But what happened was, you can see, even in this example here, Gullit is just waiting. He's waiting on the edge of the box. And I'm not asking him to get forward at all. I haven't left him on balanced attack. I know for sure. I always use stay back whilst attack on 4-2-3-1. So something straight out the box is like, you know, Lampard, he acts more like a CDM if you ask him to. So he actually listens to your commands. Now, some of you may actually want a player like this to be getting forward, but then, you know, if you lose the ball, he's getting back straight away. The problem is with Gullit, he has no bloody stamina. So 60, 70 minutes into the game, He has no stamina left, and so many situations in the first game or two we had like this with Ruud Gullit. I've actually slowed this down and I'm going to pause the gameplay so you can see I am aiming on target, and that's his 5-star weak foot. He's just not hitting the target. His shooting was so average. I felt like his shooting was like 65 rated or 70. It was just, it had a bit of power, but it had no accuracy, and that was the problem. Whereas obviously you're going to see a couple of clips where Lampard actually does get a couple of goals actually, and there are in situations where, you know, a player can easily miss, but because he has such great shooting, it really works well. A lot of this footage is going to be me, you know, just making passes to myself, so you can see what kind of weight these players are putting on passes. Because, you know, for a defensive midfielder or even just a centre mid, if you're playing like a 4-4-2, what you want is someone to be able to make passes, move into the right areas, and look at their AI, see where they're moving. So you can see here, Lampard's getting forward. I did ask him to run forward there, and he does stay in quite an attacking position. You can see he's moving into the box now. He decides to make a bit of space, and he actually sets up a nice situation here for Trezeguet, who unfortunately the shot is blocked, but great movement and great play by Lampard. Again here, nice little setup from Ruud Gullit. Nothing special though, it could have been any player, but he does get an assist. And you can see from all of these clips as well, Ruud Gullit loves to just charge forwards, but the problem is, as you can see, he gets bodied so much. This Ruud Gullit is nothing like his mid-icon card or his prime moments. And I think that is the problem. I think that's why so many people are put off. They think, you know, this baby icon Ruud Gullit is nothing like the mid-icon. And people, when they get him, they try to use him like he's going to be as good as that. But he really isn't. You can see he's played the pass and he does start to move up. If I actually open my eyes and passed it over to either of those two players just waiting there, he would have been great. But yeah, he just loves getting forward. So he does have the traits from the other Ruud Gullits. He just doesn't have the strength, the passing, the pace, you know, everything. He's just, you know, 5 to 10 attributes short. Now, when it comes to the actual defending, you can see this clip here. Lampard, I mean, it is Ronaldinho at the end of the day, so it's quite hard to watch that. But again, Ruud Gullit saving the day there with the interception. But I felt like both of these players were quite disappointing when it comes to the defensive side. I didn't make that many tackles. When I looked at the gameplay, I was tracking back and I was trying to cover the passes, and a pass would go, you know, right by their foot, and they wouldn't stick a leg out. I know I'm using an engine chem style, and if you're going to play them as a CDM, maybe you'll use a shadow or maybe use an anchor. But I wanted to obviously put them more into like attacking positions, so I wanted to play them more like centre mid. But again, here's a clip where I know what he's going to do. He's played the pass and it's gone round Ruud Gullit. So I've used the mid-icon quite a lot. I know that the mid-icon would have either stuck a leg out and not let the pass get past him, or he would have run after the pass and actually got that with his amount of pace and agility. So it was really hard to kind of get used to that. Lampard here, nice little fake shot over there. It's moved into a nice space, but I'm still trying to record things with like Lippmann and Trezeguet. So sometimes you'll see Lampard or Ruud Gullit open, but I'm still trying to get clips with other players as well from the Icon Swaps free batch. But here, lovely pass set up with Lampard, makes a nice charging run, and he actually sets up a really nice pass across goal for Trezeguet. And this now is going to be the clip that we actually scored, I think, in the opening bit with Lampard. You can see right on the edge of the box, just getting inside. And for me, as I'm taking that shot, I'm thinking, this has got to be going in. 70-80% sure. You know, if this is on target, it's got to be in, because I've got 93 shot power, 93 finishing, and the long shots are great as well. So if you power it up with enough power, I'd say like, you know, about 3 bars of power in that situation. Lampard felt very solid. The problem was he never bloody got forward, because even with his high attacking work rates and medium defensive, when I told him to stay back, he did stay back. I wish that Lampard had the work rates and kind of mindset that Ruud Gullit did, because he'd be such a better player. And I know you're probably thinking, well, if you're telling him to stay back, then, you know, he should stay back. But you'll see here, I've played that pass. Ruud Gullit's now still charging up again. Like, he just loves to follow up a pass, whereas Lampard, look at him on the screen right now. Bottom of the screen, not doing anything, still not doing anything, and now he's making a run. He's made a bit of space, to be fair, but it would have been a little bit risky to go for that pass. It was very hard to get him to do that. Another clip here, you can see as soon as I get the ball, what happens with the positioning. So I pass to Lampard, and instantly I see the pass to Ruud Gullit, but he doesn't have the pace or the strength to just stop Sterling getting around him. I know that Sterling's very fast, but if you're in front of someone like Sterling and you're both locking onto the ball, you should be able to use your body. And even there, he almost couldn't hold off whoever that was behind me. So it's yeah, so far in terms of what I'm thinking about Ruud Gullit, I think I'm about 6 or 7 games into this gameplay now. I was thinking, I like Gullit. He keeps getting into good positions, but he's not really helping out the defence much. Lampard is there, but he's not really defending. And they both have great passing, but obviously in FIFA 20, shooting and positioning and stuff is a lot more important than actually passing, especially with long passing. Here, a lovely position from Gullit, and I'm telling you right now, guys, that right there is 80-90% going in with a Lampard or obviously his mid-icon Gullit. So that just goes to show me that the shooting quality is just not there. And a goal I actually concede here, if you go and watch the gameplay back, Gullit could have tackled, could have got an interception, but he didn't. So yeah, I was very disappointed. Nice layoff here to Gullit. Cross goal, straight down the middle. So no matter what I did, I mean, I could have paused the gameplay every time to show you where I was aiming, but you guys know if I'm going near post, I put it into the side net, and if I'm going across goal, I put it into the side net. And I'm pretty consistent with the way I'm shooting, but because he has such low finishing and low shot power and all of that, the shot just wasn't there. You had to be like literally 10 yards away at the absolute most to be able to actually score. Nice little 1-2 there with Gullit and Overmars to actually get an assist though. Another clip here starts with Lampard going in for that tackle. Nice dribbling, to be fair, with Quaresma. He's a great player. I've used him myself. Absolutely ripping people in the weekend league. But it's annoying because I read the play and Lampard and Gullit really struggled once they read the play to get the ball off the opponent, especially when there was a clash of, you know, bodies using their physique. They weren't as strong as they seemed to be. But another goal there with Lampard taking a touch just inside the box and then powering it into the top corner. So he did get a few of those, but they were very few divided between the gameplay. In conclusion, guys, I found Gullit very frustrating to use. 86 rated, and to be honest, he felt like 84, 86 rated. He wasn't that great, you know. Like, there are definitely players in the games right now that have been out since the start of the game that are very cheap, like Alan, for example, the Brazilian Serie A player, who I would put on par with Gullit, maybe even better, especially as a CDM, because he actually stayed back, and this Gullit just kept going forward. He has low stamina. You're going to have to waste one of your free substitutes on him. If you're playing Foot Champions, probably in the 70th, 80th minute, and that's if you're not using like anything like pressure on heavy touch or constant pressure or anything. He does have a 5-star weak foot, which really helped his passing more than anything, because the shots that he was taking, if they did hit the target, they were down the middle of the goal, and if they weren't hitting the target, they were way wide, you know. So his shooting was really bad, and that's definitely something that you notice between Lampard and Gullit. So in my opinion, for 10 tokens, he is not worth it. And for Frank Lampard, guys, overall, slightly better passing as long as you had the angle to pass. But obviously, because he had 4-star weak foot and Gullit had 5-star weak foot, if it was a difficult angle and he had to use his weak foot, Gullit was actually pretty decent. So nothing major over Gullit there. But what I found with Lampard is he found it quite hard. I found him hard to get involved in the game. He didn't feel like he was dominating the midfield. Obviously he scored a few goals, which Gullit didn't. But I feel like Gullit actually helped outscore more goals because he was attacking more and he was getting into better positions. So I found him really hard to get involved, especially with the high attacking work rates, which I found very strange on balanced attack for a lot of the time as well. Something massive that he has over Gullit is that shooting. As soon as you're inside the box and you've got the right angle, 80-90% of the time it's going top bins, and that's what I did like about the card a lot. And saying that, guys, I had an engine chem style, so the fact that you can bang goals like that without a chem style to boost the shooting is something to say. Now, high stamina means that you don't need to sub him off, so if you're going to pick one of these two, I would pick Lampard, although I really think that for 10 tokens, you're wasting 10 tokens. I think that Littmanen for 6 tokens, Trezeguet for 7, Laudrup for 9, and Overmars for 10 are much better choices. And I think perhaps even a Gattuso for 7 tokens. I haven't used Gattuso, so I can't say for sure. If you want a CDM, definitely go for Gattuso over these two. If you want a centre mid, then I'd probably say Lampard. But I just feel like there are so many better options that are gold players or just, special cards in this game that go for 100,000 coins or less. So I feel like rather than spending 10 tokens on one of these players, you should probably just go for the Prime Icon pack. Sorry if you guys were intending to do them. I'm not stopping you guys doing it. If these players mean anything to you, then of course go and do it. I'm just giving my honest review of the value of the tokens to how they actually played in game. And overall, I just found them both both disappointing. Both of them had strengths, but the weaknesses just outshine the strengths for me. But that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. We will have a video soon on Bergkamp Prime Moments versus the Gullit. I think it says mid icons. So the icons that you can get from Icon Swaps free, the higher tier ones. And also we're going to do Maldini versus Cannavaro, which is going to be interesting because we're going to be looking at centre-back gameplay, which this one was quite difficult to do because of the centre mids. You know, they weren't getting involved too much. So it'll be interesting to see how that video goes. So if you want to see those videos, please remember to drop a like on the video and also comment below which other Icon Swaps free players you want me to compare and review in the future. Before you leave as well, make sure you subscribe and I will catch you later. Bye bye.